Hello, in this video we're going to go through the whole process of installing a Wamp server, which is a Windows based local running server for testing and working on your WordPress sites, among other things. Now, if you have a WordPress website, and I suggest you install this on a machine so that you can do local testing, evaluation, debugging, checking your backups, etc. It's much easier and safer than using a live site somewhere else, and you'll get much more feedback on a local machine than you will if you just take another slot with a hosting company. And we'll be going through some of those features. Now, this video is going to be recorded and then edited to cut out all the mistakes and gaps and other things which will make your watching of it uninteresting. So without further ado, let's have a look at what we need to do. So the first thing is, when we come to the server, you'll see there's this message which is offering you to be in the private beta, which you do not want to do for now. What you want to do is download the Wamp server executables. Now, you're either going to be running a 32-bit or 64. I would say that almost everybody now is going to be running a 64-bit if they have a later version of the machine. But before we install that, I want to bring one thing to your attention, and that is that a lot of the software we're going to be using uses Microsoft Visual Studio, and therefore you need to have all the Microsoft Visual Studio versions installed to give you access to all the versions of WordPress that we could use. And when I've seen versions of WordPress, I mean running it under different versions of PHP. So you will need to install all the versions of Visual Studio. So you've got them all there: 2013, 2015 and 2012. That will give you a chance to use all the different versions of PHP, which is quite a major issue when you're checking your software works across different systems. As a default, we're going to have a very old version of PHP running, so you're going to want to install version 7 anyhow. And to install version 7, you will need Microsoft Visual C++ 2015. And it's actually suggested you install both the 64-bit and the x86, even if you have a 64-bit system. So I better show you how you install those to start with. All you need to do is go to Microsoft C++ 2015. That's usually good enough. There we are. See, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those. They'll all be pretty much the same. You click download. You choose the two you want to download, because I said best to download both. That will download them. And when they finish downloading, I'm using Chrome here. You will have these files which you then need to double click on. It's no good me double clicking on these and running them because they're already in the system. So you can do that for 2015. If you can get the back key to work. It's not, it's just kicking me forward again. Done it. So I'll also want 2013. And again, look for C++ redistributable packages and just install all of those. Once they're installed, you can then download the 64-bit of the server, which again I've already done. I never record anything without doing it once myself first. Make sure everything's reasonably working. So there we are, that's what's going to be installed. 64-bit version. Now this is a little Asus tablet laptop, not very powerful. But this software still seems to fly around quite well. So I'll accept the license agreement. There's a warning again about having all the versions. It's going to install it as Wamp 64. I'm going to leave it as that, or you could change it to Wamp. And we'll just let that install. Yes, a bit of time compression there. 4 minutes have elapsed. And it's now taken 7 minutes to install, so it's not bad. Here we have a chance to choose our browser. Now, if I say yes, I want to change the browser, I need to know where the browser is. Now, if you have the shortcut, this won't work, but if you've copied the file to the desktop, you can right-click, click Open File Location, and I've got two screens, so it opens the other window. I can then pick up the directory, copy that, come to the top here, paste, that's Control-V and Control-C, press return, it comes up to the directory, you can choose Chrome, so that means that Chrome will be launched by the Wamp server when I want to edit something, when I want to view something, when I want to edit something. Again, I can change the editor if I want. Now I'm using NetBeans IDE, so again I can use the same idea again. Open file location, gets me the directory where the file is. Control C, copy. Up the top, Control V, paste. Press return. There it is. Want it to learn NetBeans 64. So that's linked those two up, rather than Internet Explorer and Notepad. Now the firewall is telling me, do I want to block? And I'm going to say no, let Apache be used. Okay, so that is pretty much the start of it. Let's open up our browser. And if we have a click over here, we can see nothing going on. Good. I'm going to right click over Wamp server while I wait for the browser to load. I'm going to type run as administrator. Yep. Okay, now you can see this is the server here, it's red. It's green. Okay, so it's green, so we have done everything correctly. So for now, type localhost in my browser and bring it over so you can see it. We'll get the Wamp server page. So there we are, there's the Wamp server page, home page for it. And we can go to PHP info, tell us we've got PHP version 5.6 and all the settings. So that's good. You can go to PHP myadmin to make sure that the database works. Default is root and no password for PHP myadmin. says root there because it's remembered I've typed that before. And it goes into the database. So that's all working fine. However, we want to use a different version of PHP. We want to use PHP 7. So we've got the latest version of PHP. So you will need to download that. And let's show you how you would download that. You can go to the forum. All you need to know. And there's the links for Visual C++, all the different versions you can download and install. You'll probably want to check through all this. When you get down to here, there's different versions of PHP-MyAdmin and Apache, but also here's all the versions of PHP. So you can choose whichever versions of PHP you want. There's the 86 versions, here's the 64-bit versions, so you just choose the ones you want and download them. Now they're all meaningfully named, so if I go to downloads, you can see nothing because I downloaded it on the other browser. So let's just pull up Chrome. In fact, I don't even need to do that. Go to the directory and downloads. There they all are. So there's the Wamp server add-on for PHP 7, PHP 7.1. So whichever ones I want PHP 7, so let's do that one first. Don't need to run as administrator, but that's force of habit. Next, it's warning you must have the Visual Studio installed. Did put in Wamp 64, didn't I? Start forgetting what you've done after a while. No, I put it in Wamp. Good job I checked. And you can then rinse and repeat for any other versions of PHP you wish to make use of. My current host runs 7.0.1, which is why I want that one. 7.1.0 is probably about the latest version stable that's available at the moment. The later versions of PHP are faster than the older versions, so even if you haven't got a technical reason that your plugins require it, it is a good idea to get upgraded. Your server and your site will run faster. And then once they're installed, it's very easy to swap around. That's still behind us waiting for 7.14. We'll let that download. But all you need to do is come to your little green button, which has died, and the reason it's died is because we've just installed some new software, so let's just relaunch it. We'll move that out of the way for now. We don't need that for now. So we go Wamp server, run as administrator. I think it will run as administrator automatically. And it will then start up down here. There we are, see red. It'll go green when it's ready. Come on, little chap. Orange. That's one service running. green as all the services running. Right, you can right click and get to some status tools. You left click and you get the system up. And you go to PHP versions and you can just say I want 7.1. And it's now running 7.1. So if I'm in my browser, if I go to localhost, there's the Wamp server page. So you're on PHP version 7.1, so that's correct. You can go to PHP info. See again, 7.1, all run up and installed. Want to change the PHP version, just do that. Change the PHP version and then restart the machine. You can even change your version of Apache, although I'm not so sure why you would need to change that so often, but it may be you want to check against the host. You can also play around in MySQL, but again, that's not so important. It's the versions of PHP that are making a difference to a lot of people. So that's it. Under 20 minutes, which is quite good considering it took us 7 minutes to wait for the installation to complete. That's how we get the Wamp server, and I'm going to do a separate video on how to install and set up sites using it. But for this video, that's it. Thanks very much for watching.
For more info, visit wpbusinessclub.com.